Hello gremlins, welcome to another hot vlog in my office. So this is going to be a fun nostalgia vlog. So if you were not aware, in previous summer times slash back to school times, I have done vlogs where I read books that I remember nostalgically, or like series I remember nostalgically that maybe I didn't read all of, or I read some of, something like that. So for the next couple of videos, I will be delving into things that I loved when I was growing up. So the first of these things is going to be the American Girl mystery series. So if you are not aware, American Girl has the standard books that come with the dolls. So this gets a little tricky because with the original dolls, so like the original releases and the historical dolls up to a certain point, there was always sort of this 6-book series that followed kind of the same setup. So it would be, they're actually, the Samantha ones are by me. Meet the character, learns a lesson, a surprise, a birthday, what else? Like saving the day and then changes. So there was sort of this story arc you would follow for the character over 6 books. Oh, sorry, I'm so warm. And so that was pretty standard. That was the standard for a majority of them. And then it changes a bit when you get to the newer dolls. I believe Julie and Rebecca have a similar series, but a bit different. And they did dolls that came as like a duo at a certain point, and those dolls, I don't remember if it was 6 books or if you got 12 books, because I don't remember. There were just so many dolls at a certain point that came out when I was not aware of what American Girl was doing. I knew they were doing dolls for the companions, so like Samantha's friend Nellie gets books, other characters got books, and they didn't get as many, I don't believe, but they did get at least 1 or 2 books. Then in more recent times, I don't think they've released as many books. So like Julie, I don't think has as many books. And then the 1980s doll, Courtney, and then the twins, Nikki and Isabel. Is it Isabella or Isabella? They, I believe, only have 1 book each. A bit like when you would get a For Me doll or the Truly Me doll that looks like you, where you would get like a blank book and you could write your own. I don't know if they still do that, but they did when I was a child. So, well, a preteen. I think I was 12. But anyway, I am delving into the mystery books. We're sort of an offshoot series where like different dolls got different ones, and a few of them got more than one. I believe most of them got more than one, though that may be different for the newer dolls. Don't take my word on that. I'm just telling you what I remember from my childhood. I'm taking a sip of this water because I'm really, really hot. Oh my goodness. Okay. So for the books that I picked out, I kind of have a bajillion. I have way too many, but they're so short. So I was like, I'm just gonna grab a whole bunch. And my library is very sure that I have a child now. So please note, if you borrow a number of books that are for young readers, eventually when you're my age, they just assume you have kids. And when I picked some of these up, I was wearing a shirt with a raccoon on it that said Stay Trashy. Now I'm wearing this Hex Girl shirt with Thorn on it because it felt very like young Catherine. I'm still obsessed with Thorn, but I was very obsessed with Thorn as a kid. And Krista has picked up some of these for me, my wife, and she said every time they're like, oh, your little one's gonna love these, and she was like, yeah, my wife picked these up, but thank you. She just like wouldn't say anything, and I didn't say anything. Like when I picked them up, the person was like, oh, okay, and if you want, we have some Teddy Grahams left over from an event for children, if your little one would like them. And I was like, thanks. There's no little one. I mean, my pups would probably like them, and they're little, but these are the books I have picked out to read in this vlog. So some of these are the historical doll books, and some of them are a different series that American Girl did that was called History's Mysteries, and they focused on a historical period, and it was a girl in that historical period, but she doesn't have a doll. Like there was never a doll, there would never be a doll, but it was a character happening through a mystery while living during a certain time period. I have put the books with historical dolls in historical doll chronological order, like the order that, like their time period order, not order of release. So that's the order those are in. And then I tried, I believe, to put the History's Mysteries in release order because there was a chart in them because they were released as their own series. So let's begin by showing you all the books because there are a lot, and then there are 2 random things that I'm going to include in this. So the first one is an Addie mystery, Shadows on Society Hill. Addie is one of my sister's favorite characters, so I made sure to get one of hers. Then this is the only mystery that I own that I'm reading in this vlog. I did read one in my Samantha vlog that I bought at the library, but my parents sent me this one. I have no clue if they like found this in the house, if they found it at a half-price bookstore, no idea. but this is a Samantha mystery, The Curse of Raven's Court, because it doesn't have a library thing. So I think this is either Half Price Books or maybe it was in our house and I just didn't know. Then I have a Rebecca mystery, Secret at Camp Nokomis. Rebecca is slightly newer. Not the newest, but she came out when I was in college. Then a Kit mystery, Danger at the Zoo. Mary, my sister, I think read this one for sure. She has a Kit doll that my mom got her when she was older. We didn't, like, she had a bitty baby when she was a kid, but ages later, my mom did get her the Kit doll because Kit was her, like, second favorite. She and Addie are kind of tied, but I did want to make sure to get a Kit book because I do remember her reading this one. Then I have a Molly mystery, The Light in the Cellar, and I picked Molly because my brother had a Bennett, and I actually said we should name my parents' dog Bennett. So he has sadly passed away, but Bennett is like a family thing, so I picked Molly. I don't even know if Bennett shows up in this book, but I got Molly anyway. So yes, The Light in the Cellar is Molly's. Then Julie, and this is the last historical doll book. Hers is, so this is when they like rebranded. So this one says Be Forever. This rebranding I believe went away, but they were using it for a while. And it's The Puzzle of the Paper Daughter, and it's a Julie mystery. Then we move on to the History Mysteries books. So I have 3 of these. Sorry, I'm coughing a little because my allergies are being weird. So this is The Smuggler's Treasure, set in 1814, and this is book 1 in the series, and I actually owned that one a long time ago. I know I did. Then I have The Minstrel's Melody. It's in 1904, and this is book 11. And then The Riddle of the Prairie Bride, which is set in 1878, but it is book 12. So these are in release order, whereas the historical doll books are in doll timeline order. That's just what I decided to go with because it was easier for me. Then these are 2 that I bought randomly. So this Forever Friends is part, I think this came with a little golden retriever toy, like companion for your doll. But the long story short, mobile bookstore had this in like a dollar bin or something, and it was just too cute, so I got it. It's Forever Friends, Madison's New Buddy. And then the final one, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I'm coughing, is A Year of Mini Mysteries, 29 Tricky Tales to Untangle. And my library had this during a book sale, and it has like little mysteries in it, and then you flip these little pieces to figure out like the solution. So I'm gonna try and just like squeeze those last 2 in at the end. I also have like a surprise thing that I'm gonna be opening because my sister sent me a text today that just said, go downstairs to your front porch and get the box. And I was like, what? So I go downstairs and there's a box on my front porch. So I bring the box inside, and as I'm bringing it inside, I realize it says American Girl brand. And I was like, what the crap? Because like American Girl stuff is not cheap. Like when I got my American Girl doll, I was like 12, I believe, and I got her for my birthday or Christmas. And it's a Truly Me doll, and she was, I thought, expensive at the time. And I know that the price of the dolls has gone up since then because I'm no longer 12. And I thought that was expensive. Then last year, when I was doing my Samantha vlog, Krista surprised me with Samantha. She found her on eBay. We actually like looked for her together, and we found one that was not exorbitant. She was actually slightly cheaper than you could get if you purchased the doll from American Girl itself. So we bought her because the original version that is in her dress, I would show you, but I'd have to maneuver you. So you'll see her in a little bit. My Truly Me doll and my Samantha doll are in a corner by my desk because it was the safest place to put them. So that's where they are. And then this box has arrived and I've cut the tape, but I'm not opening it. And I was informed it is my early birthday gift. My birthday's in November, but my sister said it's an early birthday gift from my parents, her, and Krista. So I think I know what it is, but I'm not opening it officially until Krista gets home for lunch. Because I'm just like, I don't, and she was like, you should have your camera ready. So yeah, there's gonna be a surprise unboxing that was not planned. Like, my sister does not know I'm filming this video. Like, I told her I was gonna read some American Girl books this week just for fun, but she didn't know I was doing this video. Like, she has no idea that I'm filming this right now, and that the day I was gonna start it is the day this box arrived. So I'm just like, this is bonkers. So yeah, so be ready for an unboxing in the next clip where I'm probably gonna freak the freak out. And yeah, I think that's it for right now. But I have all of those books that I would like to read this week. Last time I did an American Girl like vlog, I watched the Samantha movie, but I was doing a specific doll, so I don't know if I'm going to watch anything because I have so many books. But if I do, I will fill you in, but I'm gonna go. I will talk to you later, gremlins, when I'm apparently opening a box from American Girl that my family is surprising me with. I'm handing you to Krista because there's a box in front of me that I have technically already opened. But I got this box, and I told you I got a box. There's an American Girl box. And unintentionally, I'm filming an American Girl video, which was not planned. Literally not planned. This is just kismet. But you did know they were making a doll inspired by one of my favorite characters. Both the Christina Ricci version and the Jenna Ortega version. This is technically Jenna Ortega, but look at her! Look at her! It's Wednesday! It's Wednesday! She has a little thing and little piranhas, and she's in a special box. There's all purple.
He wants to focus on her face and not yours.
That's fine. She's incredible. But I did not buy this. This was a gift. This is apparently an early, an early birthday gift from my sister Mary and my wife Krista and my parents, because she's expensive and was a limited release, and I wasn't going to buy her, but now I have her, and she's incredible, and she's probably coming out of this box at some point, but not right now, because not right now. Bane is intrigued, but would prefer the box. Do you want me to just leave the box here for you? Yes. But thank you to the people who got this for me. I'm very excited. So very excited. She's incredible. She has little black nails and a little thing, and she's just incredible. And Bane just tried to eat her, so she can't stay in this room, or she's doomed. But thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. She's so cool. Thank you. And my birthday's not until November, but also the new season is coming out soon, so this is perfect. Perfect. Okay, I'm going slightly insane, but she's so cool. Alright, I'm gonna tell my wife to stop recording now, and I'll be slightly more normal in the other clips. Probably. Hello, gremlins. It is the end of my workday. I did not read during lunch because I was truly just so in shock about the Wednesday doll. Like, I don't have her like officially displayed right now. She's just like sitting in a very nice spot on my floor, like, so she won't get damaged. And I also am like, I want to take her out of the box, but also I'm terrified to take her out of the box. So I'm just like, ah. Like, she's incredible. I just casually texted my sister about this and my wife, but I was like telling my sister, and I was like, oh, it's like so cool, like I totally would have wanted this as a kid, like she has black nails and she's just so cute and she has thing, and I was like, but like the price is not cheap, and I was like, it's like a limited thing, like I'm not even gonna try, because I like that is a lot, and I'm not I don't have a budget for basically a $300 doll. I was like, I don't have that like budgeted for right now, like I'm not doing it. And she was like, yeah, no, like you could check eBay or something, like when it's out, see if people, because it's sales final, so like if you try and return it, you can't. So she was like, maybe people will like put them up if they like realize they don't want it or something. And I was like, yeah. And I like was telling Krista about it because I was like, it's so cool, like I just like, this is the doll I would want. Like if I was going to get a special doll, it would be Wednesday, because I loved Wednesday in the original Addams Family movies as a kid. The Christina Ricci one, her performance, and I really do like Jenna Ortega's Wednesday. Like I like the show, I'm very excited for the new season. Like I was just like, oh, this would be so cool, but like so expensive. So truly was shocked that this showed up today. Like genuinely shocked. Like I was not ordering it, had discussed how I was buying it, and then it's just like so nice that everyone was like, we just thought you should have it early. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it is like a multiple people birthday present for me. Like they discussed it apparently, like the group of them, because they wanted to make sure that they ordered it so I could get it. So I guess like my sister, this is according to my wife, my sister said like they should get it for my birthday, and then my wife agreed, and then my folks were like, oh yes. So like it all was like a big joint effort to get this doll for me, and I'm like, this is just so sweet. Just, it really is, because like that is $300 for like a collector doll is not a thing that I was budgeting for this year or planning on in any way. So I was just like shocked. Still shocked. Have not read anything. I already said that, but I goofily wanted to tell you that I am drinking this sugar-free pink lemonade drink mix. I'm like almost done with it. See? And I remember drinking these as a kid because my mom used to get them. I feel like there was like a big surge in like get your kids to drink water, or like drink more water, buy these flavor packets that you just like put in water and you shake up, and it was like a big thing. I feel like it was a big thing when I was like young kid, teenager. So it was just funny that that was in the mystery book I got from Long Story Short. So I saved it for today because I was like, I'm gonna be doing some nostalgia stuff, I'm gonna be reading. And then I got surprised by this American Girl doll that is bafflingly amazing, and I will stop gushing about it, but also like I'm just shocked and amazed. I truly am, and I'm just like so grateful, and I don't know how to express that fully. because I'm just like, I am just like in shock that I have this. Like, she's so cool. And like the doll I would have wanted so much if she existed as a kid. Like, again, $300 for a doll is baffling to me, and I would not have asked for it because I would have been like, that is too expensive. Though maybe back in the day before inflation it would have been cheaper. I don't know. But I'm just like, she's little black nails, the pigtails, and the things. Just incredible. This does not take away from any of the dolls I do have, because like getting Samantha is also incredible, because I never bought Samantha because I was terrified that I would damage her as a kid, so I didn't even ask for her. I asked for the Truly Me doll because I was like, she can travel, her clothes are washable, like it'll be totally fine. So I got Christina, which is my doll, and Coconut, which was very sweet. My parents got me the little dog to go with it. This Coconut is basically a paperweight. I will show you. If you're an OG American Girl doll haver, you'll probably remember the paperweights. They had a cat and a dog, and they were literally, they're really heavy, and now they're little plushies. Yeah, and I have a Claudia doll from the Babysitters Club, which Krista got me a few Christmases ago, because I had one as growing up for ages, because I was very, very into Babysitters Club, and I had one, and I loved her, and I swear she got damaged very badly in a flood, and we had to get rid of her, and Krista like tracked her down on the internet, but she's wearing American Girl doll clothes now because they didn't have her full outfit, and so I bought Courtney's outfit, one of them, the like sweater shirt combo, and some tights, because it felt like a Claudia outfit. So that's what's on my Claudia doll. So all my dolls are in American Girl clothes, but like this is just, I'm just like baffled, because I'm not like I collect some things, but like I wouldn't think I collect dolls. But now I guess I do, because I got 2 Monster High dolls on clearance when I did a Monster High video. They were on sale, so I got them because I'd never had a Monster High doll before, and I like always wanted a Draculaura, and I love Abby, and they were both on sale. But that was last year? Earlier this year? Last year, I think. If not, it was early this year, and my concept of time is very skewed. But yeah, so it's just baffling to me that I have this. But I will be reading after work, like when I'm out of my office, because I need to leave this office, I'm so hot. An Addie Mystery Shadows on Society Hill. I also have a Red Panda bookmark in here from Krista that is just very, very cute. Just right there. So yeah, I'm gonna read that while I'm hanging with the dogs. I'll probably bring a couple downstairs and read while I'm hanging out with them. Chloe isn't feeling great. I don't remember if I mentioned that or not. We switched a thing we put on top of their food, and it's the same kind of protein, but it's a different brand, and her stomach is not taking to it well, so she has an upset stomach, like a really upset stomach. So she has meds in her. She's going to be fine, but like we had to get her meds, and I have to keep an eye on her. And so I'm just gonna hang out with them downstairs. I am so sweaty though. I'm definitely changing shirts. I'm gonna put on like a PJ top because they're like big and baggy and comfy. So I'll have that on while I cool down. But I will show my dolls before I go downstairs because I'm gonna forget. But I'm gonna have to stop recording to get you over there, because even when my computer reboots, I feel like it shows stuff that you can't see, / there's stuff on my monitors like taped to them that you can't see. So I'm just gonna like stop recording, give me 1 sec, and then you'll get to see the dolls. Besides Wednesday, who you've already seen. So 1 sec. All right, this is the collection. So Christina is here. This is my Truly Me doll in her original outfit. She does have a change of outfits, but it's in a cabinet. It's from the American Girl store in Chicago, and it's part of a show. Like, it was a costume dress that was identical to a dress in that show. But she's not wearing it because I actually had to fix her legs. She's older, she's been seated a lot, and so her leg joints got a little goofy, and I had to perform a bit of doll surgery. Then here is Coconut, right next to the first appearance of Claudia book and all the Samantha books. Krista also found me all the Samantha books in like a set. It's in the special box, so I have that to go with my Samantha doll, who's right here. She is in her original outfit. The reason we had to look for her specifically is because this outfit was previously discontinued. They brought it back, but it's still different. Like, it's not this one. So I have that one, and then she's a little hard to see. She needed some assistance with standing. Oh, I don't even know. I don't want to move Samantha because my hands are so tired because of the heat. So we're just gonna go overhead. This is Claudia, and she is in Courtney's. You were very close to Samantha. I am so sorry. She's wearing Courtney's like sweater set. The overalls are hers and the boots are hers. But yeah, so that's the little collection over here. Sorry, there's like post-its on my monitor I cannot show you, so you're just seeing what you can see. Claudia and Christina have come out a couple of times in older videos because I don't mind moving them around. Christina actually went cross country when I was a kid and she's fine except for me having to fix her legs. Coconut came too, little tiny coconut there. And then Samantha, I am probably going to always leave Samantha on her stand and she's just gonna hang out here. I will probably move her for some photos, but I don't want anything to happen to her, which is why I'm like, maybe Wednesday we'll stay in the box, which I want to take her out, but also I'm terrified to take her out. So that's them, and they're in the little corner, and you've seen Wednesday, but I'm gonna go downstairs and hang out with the dogs and read. So yeah, I will talk to you later, gremlins, when I actually have book updates. Good morning, gremlins. My right eye is bothering me, so please ignore it. Also, we have a bunch of mail and like other things shoved in that corner, so just ignore the mess that is my kitchen. These are all clean though. But yes, I'm gonna attempt to pour this cold brew I made into this Care Bear cup using just a regular coffee filter. You can't see this. It's normally very, very stressful, so you don't need to see it. Alright, wow, we're pouring. Alright, I'm gonna let that filter a little. Okay, so I'm also here, without knocking anything over, to inform you that I have finished one book. So I did finish an Addie mystery, Shadows on Society Hill. This gets so, like, upsetting at the end of this. So in this, we are following Addie and she saves a man from being trampled by a horse in the middle of winter, like she shoves him out of the way. And then that man offers her father a job and a brand new house. He's like, you can come take over the house for the like servants who used to live at my uncle's big like estate up on Society Hill. That's the title. And they go there and they then learn that his mother is a giant racist. So this is set right after the Civil War, during the window of Reconstruction, which if you know anything, Reconstruction was trash. It could have gone well, possibly, but we put a president in power because Lincoln's vice president was someone who really wanted Southerners to like him, so that really screwed Reconstruction for the country. But I'm not going to get into that. I took a whole class on Reconstruction ages ago, so I'm just not getting into it. But they move into the house, and it turns out, again, his mother is a racist, but she's living with him until his wedding. He is getting married to a woman named Elizabeth, and he's like, oh, I want your mother to do her wedding dress, and I'll pay for that. Like, this seems perfect until... I'm so sorry. I have like a really, really crappy cough today, and I'm not editing it out because I have asthma and it happens, but it's just bugging me. But I'm gonna put this down for a sec. But things are going awry when like things are being stolen, or at least his mother thinks things are being stolen. So she's like accusing Addie of stealing things when she's not. But then Addie meets Elizabeth, the fiance, and she's so nice to them, and like she and Mr. Radisson, that's who owns the house, like invite them to tea, and so she and her mom go to tea, she goes to a show, but there's also someone lurking inside the house, and it could be a ghost. I'm actually not going to spoil these for you, just in case you yourself want to read them, or perhaps you have children who want to read them, or you want to read them to your children, or perhaps you are a youngin' who found this video. Hello, tiny gremlin. But I will not spoil it for you. So Addie is like thinking things are going well, but then things just start going so strangely. She is worried there's a ghost in the house, but maybe it's a person. Maybe there's something secret about this house on Society Hill. And then Miss Elizabeth starts acting strangely, and perhaps she is doing something nefarious or has a nefarious secret that Addie must try and learn. And then there's also a ton of family drama. We get some mentions of the previous books. We also get a lot of the people who helped Addie and her mom escape slavery, which I really need to read her books. I bought them, like Krista and I got them for my sister because she had never owned them, and we were talking about American Girls, and I remembered that she really loved the Addie books, or like loved Addie as a character in general. And I was like, some of the stuff they're mentioning is horrible, which is true. Horrible, horrible things happened in the South, really anywhere, still do to this day, to people of color in America. So like it felt very present. Like they were discussing constitutional amendments, but how they weren't enforced until the civil rights movement. There's a section in the back. So all of the books have a from this moment forward, so they kind of give you a history of things that would impact people in the book. We also learned, this I didn't know, her brother served in the army and he lost an arm. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh. So it was very good. It was very, it actually kept me guessing because I was like, what is going on? So there was a lot of like wild things. Though, I mean, I did guess some things, but I still was like, oh, I'm waiting to see if they figure it out. So I think these are fun. I loved these as a kid because I was like, oh, there's so much mystery and intrigue. So the Addie one was very good. The next one we're going on to is The Curse of Ravenscourt, which is a Samantha mystery. I'm not going to read you the back, but this, I'm pretty sure they do this dress now. Like they made it a different dress, like a birthday dress or something. But Samantha is my favorite character, so I'm very excited to read this one. I have read the other mystery that involved a stolen gem that's set on like a boat. That one is like very Titanic-esque. It's not the Titanic, but it was set on a boat is what I remember. So, oh, this coffee's almost done. Okay, hold on. We did it. Yes. All right. Coffee is done. I have more coffee to put back in the fridge. But yes, so I have successfully made a tiny mess. I have to clean it up. But I successfully got coffee into my Care Bear cup. And I didn't make a giant mess. So yes. We'll be moving on to The Curse of Ravenscourt, which I think also involves a house. Yeah, it involves a new apartment hotel. I'll talk to you about this when I have read it. I'm hoping to get some read before work. It is already so hot in my office that I just don't want to be in it. But I have a little time, so maybe I'll sit in the bedroom or something. I'm not going to film that though, because I'm just trying to like get cool, get ready for work. My eye also is bugging me. I don't know. I woke up in the middle of the night and it hurt. So I did like eye drops and stuff and it's feeling a little better, but it's like sore. But yeah. I am just very excited for the Samantha mystery. And then we move on to Rebecca, I think. So fill you in when I can. And I will talk to you about the Samantha mystery next, gremlins. Hello, gremlins. Please ignore this eye if it's doing something weird because it does still hurt. But it is the start of my lunch break and before work I was able to read all of the Samantha book, which is shocking to me because I didn't think I would have time, but I did. So The Curse of Ravenscourt is, all of these are set after the like core books of that character. At least for the original ones. I'm not sure about the Julie one I'm reading later, but the rest of these are all set after. So in this one, Samantha, Nellie, and her two sisters, Bridget and Jenny, are all living together. They have all been adopted by, I think it's Cornelia and Uncle Guard, right? Cornelia? Is it Cornelia? I literally, like, just read it this morning. Okay, yeah. Aunt Cornelia and Uncle Guard. So they're all living together as a family, but there's construction going on their home because they've brought in 3 children on top of Samantha. So they're doing some renovations. So they're invited to stay at Ravenscourt, which is where like is it the lawyer lives there? Uncle Guard knows someone who like works with Mr. Raven. And so they're staying in like a very nice apartment in this complex. Now the issue is strange things are happening, thus the curse. So Nellie recognizes this man and she's like, oh my gosh, he owns these horrible tenements we used to stay in. Because if you don't know, Nellie and her family, Nellie and her sisters are orphaned at a certain point in the series and they are living in a tenement at a certain point with their uncle. It's a whole thing about child labor and the division of classes and all of that throughout her books. But Nellie knows him and is like, he is cursed. This building is probably cursed. Like ravens are dangerous. All of this is dangerous. So Nellie is kind of freaked out because she's like, this guy's a horrible landlord. Like this place is going to be horrible. And then strange things start happening. There's a rat. There are some very, very dangerous things that occur that could kill someone. And while all this is going on, Bridget and Jenny wind up getting sick. They get chicken pox. And from that point forward, things are very up in the air. Aunt Cornelia has to leave. Uncle Guard is out of town. But the girls are trying to figure out what's going on and if they can figure out this curse. So this story is very detective-y for Samantha and Nellie. And there's references to Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which was very fun. I loved Sherlock Holmes. I still do. But growing up, I read Sherlock Holmes all the time. So this was very, like, cute because it referenced stuff that I know. But they are trying to solve this kind of dangerous mystery because very scary things are happening where they're living, especially if you're a little kid. So they're like, is it a curse? Is someone doing this? So it is trying to figure out if the curse is real or not, and if someone is perhaps behind the curse. So this one is a touch guessable because we do learn there's a rivalry, but that's all I will say. But it was still, like, the events occurring were wild for a child to deal with, but accurate. They are things that could happen. And then there's a reference to a Pinkerton detective, which was very cool because I did some research on Pinkerton detectives a long time ago. But very fun Samantha book. Loved that we got Nellie and Bridget and Jenny because they're such good characters. And we also got to see some different sides of some characters we've met before, including Gertrude the very grouchy maid. So this was fun, and I own this one. So that one is all mine. Now we're on to, for my lunch read, which I'm hoping to finish, is a Rebecca mystery, Secrets at Camp Nokomis. So I have only read Meet Rebecca. She was introduced when I was in college. She and Julie were like new characters that came out. If I remember, her story is set in like 1910, possibly? I'm not as, yeah, this is a newer one. I'm not as confident with when her stories take place, but I do remember in the back, it's something about like yeah. This is by 1910, and then I'm sure we'll get an actual year. So this is, so all I do remember is Rebecca is Jewish, and and this is set pre-Kit. So it's after World War I, correct? Am I correct? I just remember that she's like Jewish, and a lot of this was to examine like Jewish culture, Jewish heritage, and that, but I don't remember much else. I will probably learn things as I'm reading this, but I do remember that was a lot of it. And I think she lived in the city. At a certain point, I thought the idea of her was to replace Molly. So I was off timeline wise. They've retired and brought back in dolls, done things like that. And I remember thinking she may have been Molly's replacement solely because Molly's story is World War II specific. So there is a discussion of like anti-Semitism in those at a certain point from what I remember. But I was wrong because this is set before Kit. So maybe she was supposed to be a replacement for Kit. They like rotated dolls in and out for a while, and now they've like brought a lot of them back as like, oh, you can buy them whenever. But they have different outfits. So yeah, I do think she must have been the Kit replacement then. But I am curious to read this since I don't know a ton, and this is set at camp. So we shall see what I learn about Rebecca. I will let you know when I finished it, and then I'll be moving on to whatever else. I think I have a Kit one after this one, but we're on to Rebecca, and I'll fill you in when I have Rebecca updates, gremlins. Oh wait, I forgot. I wanted to show you. Yeah, I can show you it without too much chaos. Actually, I'm gonna stop recording. Hold on. You're gonna get to see my new doll setup. So one sec. Behold, gremlins, I've moved them. So Wednesday is here. I still have not taken her out of the box. I want to take her hairnet off. I want to like examine her, but for right now she's in the box. I've moved Christina and Samantha and Claudia, who yes, is not an American Girl doll, but she's still with the American Girl dolls. They are all here, and I've moved the books there, and then Coconut and little Samantha, who is, I used to have her displayed because I didn't bring my big American Girl doll to my apartment ages ago. And so I brought this little tiny one. So I had a little tiny Samantha. So I did have a Samantha. I just didn't have full-size Samantha. So they're all set up here. And yeah, but I'm gonna go eat some food. So I'll update you on Rebecca when I can, but I wanted to show you a new little setup because I finished it up after work yesterday. All right, talk to you later, gremlins. Hi, gremlins. It is the end of the workday. I am hot, I am tired, but I did finish Secrets at Camp Nokomis. So I think Rebecca was supposed to be a Samantha substitute now that I've read this book. She is very different, but the book, according to the back, once I finished reading the Peek into the Past, which all these books include, it's the little section where they like tell you, it's like looking back, a peek into the past, and it'll like detail events from the past that tie into this story. This says summer of 1916 is when this story takes place. So it's kind of in between Samantha and Kit, because if I remember correctly, Samantha is, oh gosh, I never remember the exact date, but it's her, and then it was Kit, and so this one fits in the middle. It is set in New York City, which is why this particular one is not, but the stories themselves are set in New York City, which is why I think she's supposed to be the Samantha replacement, because eventually in Samantha's book she moves to the city. So that's what I'm going with. So in this, Rebecca, who is a Jewish immigrant to the United States from Russia, she and her family came through Ellis Island and are living in New York City, and this is the summer where she is eligible to go to camp. So at the time there were these camps that there were like groups that would kind of pay for / allow these girls to come to camp, also boys, but this is specifically about a girls camp. come to camp to get them out of the city. And the big thing in this one is the polio outbreak. So there's a huge issue with polio. And if you don't know, FDR, polio. But in this, the concern is that if you're a kid in New York City, you could get polio. And there's really no way to kind of predict who's going to get it. It just sort of happens, it seems. So a lot of kids are being sent away for the summer just to get them out of the city, because the issue is that it's happening very rampantly in the city because everyone is very close together. Now, admittedly, we do learn, and in Peek into the Past they get into it, it's contaminated water that is the problem, but like there's no way around. You're in the city, so like water could be contaminated, you could step in it, you could get splashed with it. There's no way to know if your child will interact with contaminated water. So Rebecca is sent to camp, but she was supposed to go with her friend Rose. My hair is now doing a wild thing because I fluffed it. She was supposed to go with her friend Rose, but Rose's school had a polio outbreak, and so Rose is being kept in kind of quarantine until they're sure she's not like contagious or infected. She's not, she's fine, but Rebecca has to go to camp alone. When she gets to camp, she's really worried about making friends, and then she meets her bunkmate whose name is Tina, and Tina is very nice, but she's very, very small. So she gets picked on by some of the other girls, and then Rebecca is finding it hard to make friends because there is a girl in their camp. Everyone gets a nickname, but Rebecca for us is listed as Rebecca, and then if someone's talking to her, she's called Becky, which her mom does call her earlier in the book, so that helps. But there's some issues with other girls in the cabin, and it's solely because there's one girl who's a bit upset about something that Rebecca gets. And so we're following that, but there's also this like concern that there's a Wendigo. So they hear the rumor of the Wendigo, which is an actual supernatural like myth. And so the girls are not, there's a super loud car outside, of course there is. So the girls are worried there's like a Wendigo, but also some odd things are happening, like Tina sometimes is not in bed, or Tina is sometimes missing, and then some other things go missing. And so Rebecca's just not sure what's going on. Now the cover of this is actually Corky, who is referred to as Red at the start of the book, and then Rebecca. And that's because at a certain point, the two of them wind up having to go into the woods to try and solve a bit of a mystery. So this one was really fun for me. I used to go to Girl Scout camp, not always sleepaway camp. When I was younger, I did a lot of like day camp, night camps, just because it was easier. But I did go to sleepaway camp once. Was it once? I also went for school, but that was very different and kind of annoying. So I'm not gonna get into that one. But I went as a Girl Scout, and they actually sing a song that they taught us at Girl Scouts, which was very sweet. And they do mention campfire girls in this in the back, which was a thing. So a lot of these camps feel like they did at some point, either they were influenced by Girl Scout camps or Girl Scouts went to these camps as well, because a lot of the things they do, even in this set in 1916, we did in like the 2000s. They wash the dishes by using certain buckets where you like dip and bleach, like this whole thing. But yeah, it was really interesting. They did discuss polio a lot, so I actually learned a lot of stuff, which was fun for me. And I learned more about Rebecca because I only read the Meet Rebecca book. She also wants to be an actress, which I had kind of forgotten, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, I think she has like a thing about wanting to be in a motion picture or something in her description, or she did in the Meet Rebecca. I think it's been a very long time since I read that. But I enjoyed this, and it was fun to read an American Girl that I have not read before. Now, Rebecca is one of the dolls that does still have a 6-book set, so she has that, I believe. I think she has a standard 6-book set. I could be wrong, but I do think she still had a 6-book set. I know I said that like 80 times, but I learned something goofy about one of the other characters that is intriguing to me. Julie may not have had 6 books. I am still a bit thrown by the packaging of that book, and we'll get into it more when I get to Julie's book, but I did enjoy Rebecca. I would probably read more of her books just to get a better idea of her. And then we're now moving on to Kit. So this is a Kit mystery, Danger at the Zoo. What is fun about Kit is her set, like her setting for the books, is Cincinnati, Ohio. And it is during the Great Depression, which I do always remember, but it's just fun that she's in Cincinnati, Ohio, because I grew up in Ohio. So it's just cute that there's a doll in Ohio. So I will be reading this one and getting back to you about all of the details of this mysterious zoo mystery when I get time, gremlins. I may try and read this tonight. I kind of want to try and get through a decent amount of these pretty quickly because I have so many. But yeah, so I will let you know, gremlins. I am gonna go hang with the dogs, I'm not entirely sure what we're doing. We debated about taking them for a drive. We'll see, but I need to go. So I will talk to you probably tomorrow, gremlins. I think I'm just gonna chill for the rest of the night, not do any filming. I think that's my plan. So yeah, I will probably not talk to you until tomorrow, gremlins, and I will have plenty of updates. But if that changes, you'll still be getting the kit update next. So see you next clip. Hello, gremlins. Okay, my eye is still being weird today, so I'm actually gonna be wearing like blue light glasses for the rest of the day, but I'm not putting them on in this because they're super reflective. So I'm gonna give you my update, then get those on so that I can survive my work day. First, let me present to you the cup I'm drinking cold coffee out of. Oh, my eye just started watering. That's fun. So this says, yes, I really do need all these books. And I got this from the Long Story Short mobile bookstore. It is very cute. Krista was like, you have to get a mug, and this is the one I picked. I thought it was appropriate because I'm reading so many American Girl books, even though I don't own them. And then your update on the Kip mystery is I finished Danger at the Zoo. So this one does reference her series kind of a lot. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. My eye is just like freaking out because there's so many lights. Oh, it's feeling better. Just like decided it doesn't want to be by my computer, which is unfortunate for me. But in this one, Will, who is a character from her books, has come back to Cincinnati and he gets a job at the zoo. On top of that, her friend Sterling, who's about her age, has gotten a job as a zoo guide. So they're both working at the zoo, and then Kit has gotten like a cub reporter position at her paper. So they said she can write this like kids corner piece that will appear next to the like women and family stuff, and they're like something light, something fluffy, something fun. And so she's supposed to write about this like pet show that's happening at the zoo, and then she starts being like, oh, weird things are happening at the zoo, I want to look into this. So she is trying to write 2 different articles, even though she's only supposed to write 1. And on top of all that, weird things are happening at her house because her parents run their house as a boarding house because this is the Great Depression. So they are like, oh, we have boarders, but her mom is pretty strict about like food. So she like keeps a tally of their food. She keeps kind of everything in the kitchen sort of not regimented, but she like always knows how much they have, and that helps her prepare to like feed the boarders and all of that. But food is going missing, other items are going missing, and it's very strange because her mom's like, I would give someone these if they were asking, or like help them, but no one's talking to me, so I don't know what's going on. Then Will starts getting in trouble at the zoo because a monkey enclosure keeps being unlocked, even though Will swears he locked it. So there's all of this. There's a mysterious man who doesn't speak a lot of English. There are, what else? Oh, there's like a circus act. There's a lot of very cool stuff in this, and the zoo actually does exist. Cincinnati Zoo, they even talk about it in the Look Into the Past, and I've been there before. So that was a fun little thing. The monkey house though is apparently now a reptile house, which kind of makes sense because I feel like they moved like any primates into these like no bar enclosures that they talk about in this. So it changed over time. But it was fun to watch Kit trying to solve her mystery because I actually thought like a certain thing was going on and I was actually wrong. And I was like, oh. So I got a bit bamboozled, which is always fun with a mystery, even though it's a kid's mystery. I will just say it had to do with the lock. I thought something else was happening and I was just wrong. But this was very fun, had a lot of reveals, and it was cool to read a Kit book because I do remember reading a couple of Kit's books because my sister either had them or I borrowed them from the library, or she borrowed them and then I decided to read them. But very fun time with Kit, especially again because it's in Cincinnati. On to the next one, which is The Light in the Cellar, a Molly mystery. So Molly's books are set around World War II. So whereas in like the Great Depression book, food is very regimented, I do remember Molly's books having rationing in them a lot, and like your ration card and like getting your rations. I remember that being something, and hers normally have to do with like war spies. It's normally something, because like Kit's book, it could have been someone who was, now we would say unhoused, but they say a hobo. That's a thing in the 20s. So like that's the term they use. Her book focused on that a lot, and this one I'm gonna guess. Yeah, this says something very unpatriotic is happening on the back. I'm not reading you the whole description, but it's normally someone they think is trying to like thwart America and do something evil. So yes, I will update you. This one seems very short in comparison to the other ones. Also, sorry if my eye is distracting. It is unpleased. Like, it is displeased in this moment. Yeah, this one is only like 165 pages and the others are around 180 when you include the Look Into the Past section. But I need to get my blue light glasses on and try to minimize looking at screens before work for a little bit, because it is very unhappy. But I am very curious to read this one, especially because this focuses on Emily, and Emily, I believe, is her British friend who gives her Bennett in the earlier books. But taking a sip of coffee, and then I'm getting these blue light glasses on so that my eye stops panicking about light and life. I will talk to you when I have a Molly mystery update, gremlins. Good morning. Yes, my eye still looks weird, and it is, I guess, technically still morning. Really, it's my lunch break, so it's afternoon, kind of. Time is irrelevant, and I can't really see it out of this eye. But I actually have finished The Light in the Cellar. So I read a hunk of this before work, really, because I was trying to avoid looking at my screens. And then I was like, well, I'm so close to done, so I was able to finish this one because it is so short. This one feels bizarrely shorter than the other ones, even though it's only like 20 pages shorter. It just felt so short. But The Light in the Cellar does focus on very anti-American events happening in Molly's town. So Molly's mom is a volunteer for a number of things. Her husband is a doctor in the army, so she's doing a lot of local, like, volunteering. She works at the Red Cross, a number of things that, like, support the war effort. So in this, there's supposed to be a stop for some returning troops, and the town is supposed to provide cookies. There's this whole thing about cookies, but weirdly, where they keep the sugar for these cookies, like, most of the sugar is gone. And her mom's like, that's so strange, like, we wouldn't have moved it, why is the sugar missing? And it's like one bag, there's one bag of sugar and there should be 8. It turns out that some of the sugar was used and, like, improperly recorded, but some of the sugar is still missing. Molly then hears sugar is missing at a, like, convalescence home, which is where she and Emily are delivering magazines because Emily's aunt, who she will eventually go live with, is recovering there from being ill. So she's like, that's weird, more than one place is missing sugar. And then they've also noticed that there's a light in this big manor that no one is living in, and the owner of that manor is at the convalescent home. And she's like, no, I'm not there, no one's there. So the idea becomes that perhaps things are being stolen, primarily sugar, and they have to figure out who is doing it. Now, we meet a number of characters. We follow Molly through a number of attempts to figure out who is doing this, and we do get a solution. On top of that, we get a lot of war effort discussion and what everyone is doing to volunteer on the home front and what kids want to do to help support the war effort. So there's a lot of discussion of that. And I feel like this one, the mystery is a bit more condensed than in the other ones because it is pretty quick. Like, they find the missing things, but they don't know who did it. And I won't tell you where anything is, but just, they're like, they're a bit faster. In Kit's mysteries and a lot of the other ones, things are spread out a bit more. There's a few more misdirects. This one doesn't have as many misdirects. There's really just one, and then you know who did it. Oh gosh, I knew I was gonna cough, sorry. So this one is pretty quick. It was very cute because Bennett and Yank are in this. They are both Jack Russell Terriers that I think Emily brings with her and she gifts one, or I guess they both get them. I don't remember how they get the puppies, but I know that Emily and Molly each get a puppy. Yank is Emily's and Bennett is Molly's. So the puppies are in this. That's very cute. They play with each other. We get going to the movies and like a film reel thing, but this one is short in comparison. So it was just so quick. Like, I didn't have a ton of time before work and I was basically like done with it. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm done. So that was wild to me that I finished this one so fast. The next one I will be reading is the final doll specific mystery. So this is The Puzzle of the Paper Daughter, a Julie mystery, and it is from the Be Forever setup. And this in the back did help me understand what is going on with her books. So I think part of this is tied into the rebrand that they did for the doll books. So she did have a 6-book set that was then condensed into 2 volumes. So you could buy volume 1 and volume 2, and it had multiple stories in it. Then there's a Journey in Time book for her where you travel back in time and spend a day with Julie. Then there's a Choose Your Own Adventure book that came out for Julie. Then this mystery for Julie. And I know for a fact there's another book not listed in here that is called like, sorry, The Blue Guitar. I'm trying not to cough. I'm so sorry. My asthma is doing a thing today. I'm blaming allergies because I've been sneezing a lot too. So The Blue Guitar involves like a a story told in 2 times. So you get Julie and there's another girl with the blue guitar. It's a whole thing. So I will tell you that Julie's is set in 1974 and Julie is in California. I forget where, but I know she's in California. And yeah, so it's like this book, the 2 volumes that I think now that they're condensed are also called Be Forevers. I just remember this rebrand confused me because I like saw the books and I was like, did they change them? Do they not do the thing? I do know that Courtney and the twins, they only have 1 book that I'm aware of and they didn't do any more for them. Sorry, I swear my asthma is just being a butt. Hold on. Huh. There we go. Kind of. I sort of have a voice. Sorry, again, asthma. And I don't edit that out because I do have asthma and it causes me to cough and it's just like a part of life. But yes, so yeah, the rebrand of this confuses me and they stopped doing this. Like they stopped this Be Forever thing. It was just like a thing they were doing. So they just went back to like releasing the books. Again, I do believe they only did like a Meet Courtney style book and then the twins each have like a journal. Now, there was a journal series from American Girl that I need to look up because I remember very specifically reading books that look like composition notebooks and I cannot remember that character's name. And I know that the character was owned by American Girl because there were like excerpts or like teasers for her books in the magazine, because I used to read the magazine at the library or like take a couple home and read them and bring them back like in the summer when I was going to the library like every other day when I was growing up. But I don't remember her name. And she's not in the catalogs anymore. And because I can't remember her name, I can't look her up. So I'm like trying to jog my memory. If I haven't figured it out by the end of this video, or if you remember it while you're watching this video, please feel free to throw that girl's name in the comments, because all I remember is they were like composition notebook style and you like had the story, but then there were like notes in the margins because it was supposed to be her diary. I just cannot remember her name. But I'll be reading the Julie book next. I'll probably read a little bit during lunch. It is actually afternoon. I thought it was still in the 11s. Oh, my hair is doing a thing. But no, it's not. And that doesn't even make sense because I wasn't going to, whatever. Can you tell I'm a little tired? So the reason for that, I didn't even tell you, is we stayed up kind of late watching Final Destination movies. We're rewatching them before the new one is on HBO Max on Friday, and so I'm a little tired. And so I feel like I'm a little tired, and then like, since my eye is bugging me, I'm not like looking at things super well. So I whatever, just ignore me. I can't remember the time of day and I'm tired. But Final Destination movies, fun time. We're watching Final Destination 3, I think, today. Like after work before we go to bed. But anyway, in less horror news, I will be reading The Puzzle of the Paper Daughter. I am not going to tell you the synopsis of this one either. I'll just fill you in when probably I finished it. This one is longer, but there's also like a bunch of like there's a sneak peek of another book in the back, and then hers just says Inside Julie's World instead of having that peek into the past because the book is different. I also realized, because I was looking at American Girl stuff, when they re-release some of the dolls, you don't get the Meet That Character book anymore. So like the Samantha that is out now comes with like a peek into Samantha's world instead, which is like a condensed version of a tabletop book that they used to have. And so I'm just confounded. I'm so confused. It's so strange to me that you wouldn't get the Meet book. Also, as a fun fact, the Samantha I have was actually released before they did the books. So the Samantha I have, there's like a thing that says like you can get the book and you can get some other stuff, but you have to like mail American Girl to order them, or like I think it said mail, or call them. And I was like, oh my gosh, because she has like a little booklet about Samantha but not a book, and later they would include a book with the doll because the whole point was like you also read the books. Anyway, after that tangent, I need to go. I should drink more water because of the coughing. Maybe it'll also help my allergies. I don't know. It's a wild time today, but I will update you on The Puzzle of the Paper Daughter when I have something to update you on, gremlins. I wear my sunglasses to film. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Actually, I am going to keep these on. So remember how yesterday I said my eye was bothering me like a lot? In the middle, so like I worked until my lunch break, and then I went to lunch and I told Krista like my eye's been bothering me, but I think it's gonna be okay. I was in the middle of putting peanut butter on a sandwich And then I experienced the worst eye pain I've ever felt in my entire life. And I had no idea what was going on. Like, it was just like a shooting pain in my eye. And Krista was like, I have to take you to Quick Med, which is like our urgent care. She was like, we gotta go. Like, I don't know what's wrong with you. Let's go. So we literally like rushed over there. They finally get me in. It's never actually Quick. They should rename. It's not their fault. A lot of people go there because it's like easier to go to than like a regular doctor, and it's not the ER. So depending on what your insurance is, you pay less if you go there. So yeah. So we went and they examined my eye and they were like, well, it doesn't look like you have anything in it. So it didn't get flushed. But they're like, it looks like you have, I am not going to be able to say this, and I'm not even sure they're correct. I have no idea. Scolitis. It means like all of the white of my eye is irritated for some reason. She was like, well, the number of times that I've seen it, it's been like people who've been to the desert or like the Middle East or the beach. And I was like, it sounds like a sunburn on your eyeball. But I don't know how that would have happened. Because like I don't really go places, so I don't know. But my right eye is very irritated looking, and like I have to work today. Like someone else is already out, and I was like, I will be at work, it's fine. So I have to use this like steroid eye drop 4 times a day, which may or may not be working. I have no idea. And yeah, so my eyes just are kind of like, this one here is the problem eye. So it hurts. And because it's my sinuses, like my eye is impacting my sinuses and it's making my nose run. So I'm coughing even more than normal because my nose is running because of my eye. Because like every time my eye waters, my nose runs. And then this eye is getting tired because it's having to overcompensate and do like all of my seeing for me, because everything out of this eye is just a blur. Like everything is blurry. I can kind of see things, but it's sort of like I have like, not even these, like I have like a film over my eye, which is very unpleasant. So like I don't know if I'll be reading anything because only one of my eyes can really like read text currently, which is unfortunate because I have to do that all day for my job. So I don't know. I only have 3 American Girl books left, like actual mysteries, and then I have like that little one with the puppy and the mysteries for the year. So like those I can like slowly get to. I'm hoping by tomorrow like this situation will have cleared up. I'm just like really hoping. But I did want to fill you in because before all this happened, I finished the Julie book. I finished The Puzzle of the Paper Daughters. And Julie's books are so interesting because her best friend Ivy is like key to the entire book. What we follow in this is Julie finds a slip of paper in Chinese in a jacket that Ivy's grandmother donates to her mom's shop. So what I've learned in this, because I didn't really remember Julie stuff, it is set in 1974. Her mom owns a business called Glad Rags where she customizes clothing and then resells it. Like people donate clothing or she gets clothing, then she makes it fancy and then she resells it. And then she and her older sister live above her mom's shop in an apartment, but their dad is a pilot. Their parents are divorced. The dad has his own house that is, I think, closer to Ivy's house, and he gets them on like the weekends or like when he's in town. So in parts of this, she's staying at her dad's house, which is closer to Ivy's house. So she winds up being with her dad for that weekend. She takes this slip of paper to Ivy's grandparents' restaurant. They run Happy Panda. Oh my gosh, my nose is gonna run. I really don't want to blow it on camera. Hold on, I'm just gonna like dab awkwardly. Okay. So they go to Happy Panda. She shows the letter to Ivy, the little piece of paper to Ivy, because Ivy is in Chinese school. And so she's like, I did translate it, but it also doesn't make sense. Then they show it to like the teacher and to another kid. And they're all kind of like, yeah, it seems like a poem or something. Then they show it to the grandma, and her grandma, who I think her name they use is like Popo. She's like, oh my gosh, this is the letter from my mother. So it was notes to pass her exam to become a citizen in the United States, which there was a whole thing that is this gets very detailed on like Chinese immigration, how America was crappy to Chinese immigrants for an extended period of time. There was even an act passed called the Chinese Exclusionary Act or Exclusion Act. I'm not gonna look at it because my eye hurts. But it like meant they had to stay on Angel Island, they had to be interviewed, and you could be at Angel Island for a very long time when you were coming through at least California. I don't know, that's all I'm going to say. They only talk about Angel Island. So the grandma was actually there for a while, and she said, I had these notes from my mother, but I couldn't find them, I lost them. And it turns out they like fell into the lining of this jacket. Well, this piece of paper mentions a doll, and that the doll had treasures or something. The phrasing is a little curious, but suddenly Julie and Ivy's dolls go missing, but they don't have anything in them. They're not the grandma's dolls. And then this turns into this giant quest to find the girl that Ivy's grandmother gave the doll to, because they're like, well, you want to see your friend. So they're like trying to reconnect them. And then while this is going on, Julie's like, oh, I think I have a feeling about this doll. So we learn a lot of stuff about Chinese culture and like the immigrant process while this is going on. We spend a lot of time in San Francisco's Chinatown, which very, very interesting. This mystery gets wild. The perpetrator did not guess. And I just like, I felt like I learned a lot of stuff. I thought this was really interesting. And I liked that Ivy and Julie were working like together very clearly. Now in the other books, sometimes they are, like Molly was working pretty frequently with Emily, but truly the mystery solving is constantly Julie and Ivy. And because of Ivy, they're able to do more stuff because her grandma takes them like to Angel Island. They get advice. They constantly are working together to try and figure out this mystery. So this is very fun. I will now be moving on to the, when I can, use my eyeballs, The Smuggler's Treasure, which is a history mystery. Well, History Mysteries is the series for this. And this one is set in 1814 in New Orleans, I believe. There's a map. Oh, Louisiana. So maybe not New Orleans. Yeah, New Orleans is mentioned, so I believe so. But this is the map. And what's fun about this one is on the back, it shows a bunch of books that are in this series. If it'll focus, maybe it might not. But all the ones on the back, I owned. There was like a 4-book box set that included, I cannot read these right now. The text is way too tiny. Yep, no, oh, maybe. Hoofbeats of Danger, the night, no, the, oh goodness. Never try reading tiny text when your eyes are injured. I could turn on this light, but I think, okay. Voices at Whisper Bend and Secrets on 26th Street. What is this? I truly cannot read this. Oh, the Night Flyers. There we go. I had all 4 of those. Sorry that took so long. And also you wound up seeing my eye, so you can see how irritated it is. But yeah, so I had the box set that had those in it. It actually may have been a 5-book box set because I know I read The Smuggler's Treasure at some point. I just don't remember anything about it. But yeah, so at some point I'll be reading that when I can see better. Hopefully later tonight, maybe this will clear up, but working all day, I do not have high hopes. We are watching football tonight because there's a preseason game and we can see it for free on something or other. I don't remember which one. Krista tracked it down. So we're gonna be doing that tonight. Krista primarily. I will eat Taco Bell and maybe take a nap. I'm really not sure. Just because this is irritated, so it's kind of hard to do a lot. Because my other eye is getting so tired. But yeah, everything is so blurry. It was a little blurry yesterday and like the blur is horrible now. So I'm really just hoping it clears up more by tomorrow. They said if it gets worse, I should come back in. But the problem is like, it's not discharging anything. I'm just crying. So they're like, there's not a foreign body in your eye. You'd be like, there would be issues. So it's just sore. And I think my eyelid is swollen, which is not helping because my eyelid is like sticking to my eye or something. Because every time I, like not every time, but periodically when I blink, it just hurts. And like this has happened before. I've had this issue and I was like, I've had this issue before and I thought it was connected to previous eye damage and they're like, no. But also they're not doctors at the Quick Med or eye specific. I'm gonna go though because I'm gonna start coughing a lot, but I'll try and fill you in on something when I can. Hopefully I can figure out how to read something today. All right, I will talk to you later, gremlins. I may still have these sunglasses on. Hello vlog. My dear gremlins, I'm just gonna try and keep this eye closed. My eyes are getting so tired from work. I did want to tell you that during lunch, I was able to read all of The Smuggler's Treasure. So in this one, just please ignore the eye, it hurts. It is set in 1814. We're following Elizabeth Holder, who is 11. Her father has been captured. So her father is a sailor. His boat was captured by the British because it's the War of 1812. And so they're holding him. She winds up having to go to New Orleans because that's where her like living family is. Oh, my eye looks horrible. But she goes to live with them. And then oddly enough, her uncle has died and her aunt is away because her aunt is a widow who had a child in a previous marriage. And so she's with that child. And then it's like a whole thing where she learns she has to work in a bakery, even though she used to have like servants and live in a house and be very fancy because her father was a captain. But she is there and then learns that there's this like secret map that her uncle has. and someone is trying to steal it, and then there also might be a ghost. So there's a lot going on. She's trying to get her father back. She does meet Marie, who is a young girl that works at the bakery, and she was orphaned, and she says that her uncle was like a father to her. So she's like, oh, we're cousins. So it's like a whole thing where like there's a little tension between the two of them, because she thinks Elizabeth thinks she's kind of like above working at the bakery initially, and then it does work out that she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, it's watering. Okay, I'm gonna try and be quick because I can't have my glasses on in here, but my eye might stay closed because this eye does not want to be open at all. Look at the book. Okay, whew. All right, but yeah, so there's a mystery. We meet some famous privateers. We are caught up on the War of 1812 kind of, and we learn that it's very tricky to be in the New Orleans swamps. So this was a fun read. I did kind of remember it because I do remember thinking that Elizabeth was a little bit full of herself a touch, because she doesn't want to like work, but also she wasn't raised to work, so I kind of get it now as an adult. But yes, so this one was fun. The next one is The Minstrel's Melody, which I have read a teeny bit of just to get an idea of it. It's set in 1904, and we're following a 12-year-old named Ophelia Bruce who wants to be a singer. And so far she has run away from home, and that is the plot so far. I will let you know the rest of it when I'm done. I'm just trying to do like the super quick recap, and I do need to get some books back to the library, so yeah, that's gonna be fun. But I'm gonna go because my eye really hurts, so I will talk to you later, gremlins, probably tomorrow, and hopefully my eye hurts less. Good morning, gremlins. So my eye is still swollen-y looking, and it's been 2 days since I talked to you, but for good reason. So I'm gonna take a sip of this coffee, leave you in suspense. So it turns out the doctor I went to on Wednesday was very wrong and gave me the wrong medicine, like really, really wrong. So Thursday, I had a ton of stuff I had to do at work. And then Friday, my eye just like really, really hurt. And so I was like, I think I need to go back to the doctor. I don't know what's wrong. Like it feels like there's something in it or something. So I went back. And when I went back, they were like, oh, we don't flush or anything. So if there's something in your eye, we can't help you. And thankfully the receptionist was like, oh wait, this eye doctor sent someone earlier this week who said if we had referrals like day of, we can just send them there. So we'll send her as a walk-in. I'll send all her paperwork over, go ahead and go. So she like gives me all the stuff. Physician's assistant, no help at all. The receptionist, a delight. We get over there, it does take a little bit, and it was really confusing because I guess this had never actually happened. So I was like, there's something in it, and they're like, oh, I don't think we can get you in today. And I was like, but it feels like there's something in my eye, like I don't know what's wrong, and it really, really hurts. And so they did get me in. I met with the doctor. I had to do a vision test, this eye and this eye. And then the doctor put stuff in my eye, which I'd had put in my eye before. About like a year and a half ago, I was experiencing like really bad dry eye just because of like winter time, or I forget why, but I remember I was having really bad dry eye. So they had put stuff in my eyes to check for like a cut or anything. And in that appointment, they didn't see anything. So I show for this one, and they're like, okay, we're gonna put some stuff in your eye, put some stuff in my eye. And the guy pulls out the little thing they pull up to check your eye, and he goes, oh yeah. And he's like, okay, so you have corneal abrasion that's affecting 60% of the area around your cornea. My cornea itself is fine, I guess, but all the protective tissue on 60% of my cornea was just gone. So he was like, I don't know. He was like, did they do that? Did they even put drops in your eye to check? And I was like, no, she just looked at my eye with her eyes. Like, she didn't put anything in it. He goes, that's not what they're supposed to do. And he was very upset. He was like, I'm gonna call them, because not only did she not do what we tell them to do or what she should have done for an eye injury, he's like, she gave you the wrong medication. She didn't give you a referral to us or anyone, which she should have. So he was very upset. I'm wearing a special contact lens. So I have this like Band-Aid contact over my eye, and then I have to do antibiotic drops 4 times a day. Krista is here. We're about to do coffee and breakfast, but I thought I would finish the vlog really fast. I got Goose's. This is Goose's little coffee. It's in a Bridgerton Corgi cup. I don't know this dog's name. He's cute. But very quickly, I did manage to finish one other book. I will be ending the vlog with this book. So admittedly, this is because I have other stuff that I'm going to be doing on Monday, besides getting my contact out. So I'm going to show you this. The Minstrel's Melody, I already told you she'd run away from home, and a little bit of that, but Ophelia does run away from home, joins this troupe. She then begins to learn some secrets about her family that have to do with music, and maybe the reason why her mom is so afraid of her being in a minstrel show or a musician at all. We do get to see St. Louis for the fair, and then what else do we see? Oh, there's a big mystery involving a man in
the minstrel group that she thinks may or may not be related to her. So this one is interesting. You learn a lot about like minstrel groups and the history of minstrel shows. And some of it is incredibly racist, which I'm sure you could assume. But it was very informative. I didn't know all the stuff that was in here. So yeah, but I have to give Goose her coffee. I have to open the pastries. We are going to hang out, have breakfast. But yeah, so I finished this one. I'm not going to go over the books I read because it's been a wild time. I know there were 3 books that I said that I would read that I haven't gotten to yet. I'm just going to fling... What? Oh, Krista told me not to read, to rest my eye. So the other 3 may be in just the next vlog. I may just throw them into the vlog I'm planning, even though they don't quite fit, but I can make them fit if I work really hard. So we shall see. But I'm gonna go gremlins. My eye is doing better. I get the contact out tomorrow. The swelling has gone down. Krista even said I didn't look as bad. She did. I looked really bad. I looked like I'd been punched in the eye. But yeah, so I will... What are the things? Oh, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Clef Go Ever After. I'll be doing some more nostalgia stuff throughout the month. Also the full moon readathon. But yeah, so I think that's it. I will see you in the next one, gremlins.